Sounds about right. 120 bucks for some fucking paint. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right. Only at Lowe's. Only at Lowe's. Love the way 5.0 sound when you crank it up. So, give you guys some 5.0 content. I want to talk to you guys about the clutch assist spring that's in the Mustang. Now, a lot of you guys know that the stock clutch assist spring comes rated like 180 pounds, some shit like that. And some of you guys also know that I used to have on her the Steeda 30-pound assist spring. Well, that's all well and fine and dandy for, you know, cars that have, you know, built transmissions, probably just still running the stock clutch with minor modifications. But I have the Orange T McLeod 1000 on this motherfucker, and I'm boosted, and this transmission is built. Matter of fact, this is my second transmission, but this one, it has the bar shifter on, as you guys know. Now, this car runs off brake fluid. That means it has a connection with the master cylinder and brake booster, all that goddamn shit. And the problem I was having, especially with first gear, and I figured out what the problem was with that too, and I'll explain that in a minute. But the clutch is designed when you press it in, it's to disengage from the transmission. Pretty much you're in neutral when you got the clutch pressed in. Okay, when you release the clutch, you're shifting gears or you're downshifting, whatever you're doing, when you come off the clutch is supposed to re-engage with the transmission. That means you're engaged. The car should be going. Now, as you're pressing in the pedal, that means the brake booster, right, is applying pressure to the clutch. Okay, so you're clutching in the brake booster, all that shit. Well, it shouldn't be applying pressure; it should be off. So you can engage the clutch, and then when you come off the clutch, the brake booster should still close or do its fucking thing. Don't quote me on all that, but that's normally how it works. That's still there. I might have it backwards, but you guys know. Well, what was going on was the clutch itself, and I was having a lot of rattle from this too, and I couldn't figure out why. Not just because it's trans-mounted. You guys know this car used to be double-mounted, trans and body, which the guy didn't know what the fuck he was doing. But the master cylinder was still engaging the clutch because the clutch pedal itself wasn't coming all the way back up, so the master cylinder can still shift again, right? So the clutch can be fully engaged and not have that pressure from the brake booster on it. Okay, so what's going on now is the clutch is finally engaging and disengaging like it's supposed to, and I can really feel the difference. Now, I think a lot of it has to do with the clutch assist spring. And I know it does because the spring is designed to make sure that the clutch pedal is coming all the way back up to where it needs to be so everything can flow properly. And then with this performance clutch, it has its own flywheel. It doesn't use the stock flywheel. It has its own flywheel and things of that nature there. When you start to have a lot of power and the engine's torquing over, especially in high RPM in first gear, and you go to try to grab a gear real quick, this car, for the most part, will lock me out in first gear. And now it still does that, but it did it a lot more often with that assist spring. And a lot of that got to do when you slam it down the foot, you go to grab a gear and then you come out the clutch itself isn't getting back up fast enough to allow the brake booster to seal shut so it can do what it needs to do and all that shit, or the master cylinder to do what it needs to do with the clutch and all that stuff, right? So now that I have rectified that, the car is running a lot better. Guys, with traction on, now it's cold outside. Well, it's 60 degrees now, but it was cold this morning. First gear, forget about it. You have to shift fast in first gear. I mean, pretty much. I have a centrifugal. I have the ESSG2 killer, right? On the 120mm pulley, making 10 pounds of boost in fourth gear. You're not going to see max boost till you get your one in one gear. You're not going to see it. A lot of people don't understand that shit neither. So, but first gear, forget about it. RPMs hit you so goddamn quick, and I have 355 gears in the rear. RPMs hit so quick out of 3,000. Once you floor it and it get past 3,000, it's like boosters. It just tears the tires off. I'm pretty much shifting at 5,000 in first gear quickly, right? Now, if I still try to ring it out, there is a second delay or two, and I can feel it when a car try to do its thing, when it tries to grip and reorganize, that I know I can grab that gear. If I miss that opportunity, especially when I had the Steeda assist clutch spring on here, the car at 55, 6,000 would ring, ding, ding, it would lock me out because the way the engine was torquing over and how the supercharger was applying that boost to the crank sprocket, all that turns, the clutch and the flywheel and stuff, right? That attached. Thank you. That attached. See, I was about to snatch it in. But I caught myself. I hate slow driving people. They're attached to the back of the engine. So, even in stock form, you don't want to ring out first gear. Now, what's about to happen with the car finally? I'm going to take it back to the dyno. It's springtime, things are heating up. A lot of car shows are about to be going on, so it's pollen everywhere now. So I'm going to be cleaning the car real soon. The lowering springs is going to go on too as well. I want to get everything done before I take it to a car show. I want to put all my mods on here and, you know, on a list and how much I paid for them and all that good stuff with the dyno sheet, all that stuff. Fun street car. And throughout the year, I'm going to still be upgrading the car. I know a lot of you guys out there thought I had a boost leak. Didn't have a boost leak. I went through everything, but I do have new lines and hoses that I'm putting on, but I didn't have a boost leak. The laws came back. Shout out to John Nardi with Lund. Alex had my ticket, but he closed the ticket after my window to renew, what was it, 150 to renew for another year of service. It had closed and I didn't think to pay it. So now John has my ticket, and we were going back and forth about the knock sensors, and that was another issue, especially with the Steeda clutch spring assist. A lot of time when you go to try to roll gears like that, especially if you're forcing gears and shit, if that spring isn't doing its job properly, the spring and the purge, right, the thing that the spring sits on, and that's paint, guys. I'm painting. If it doesn't do what it needs to do, and you go to slamming gears, guess what? All that vibration is going to the engine. Because once again, the flywheel and the clutch all connect to the back of the engine and transmission. That's what happens. That's how power, which turns from your oil pump gears, your crank sprocket, rotates the shit in the back of the engine, or the asshole of the engine, which connects to your transmission, which then go out to the drive shaft, and then hits the rear axles. And all that shit, that's how power is transferred, drivetrain, pretty much. So, understanding that, when you have, like I have a trans-mounted system from Barton, and you're going to roll gears, and your knock sensors are very sensitive. Now, a lot of times when you race, your traction is going to be off. I never turn stability control off unless I'm at a drag strip. I don't want nothing on because the track is prepped and sticky. On the street, just turn your traction control off, net you wonders. But still, some people get their knock sensors detuned slightly. I don't need that. Lund sent me an update, John did, to update my N-Gauge, because it was the older version of the N-Gauge. And man, everything, I mean, my fuel trims are within 1 or 2 of each other. Like, everything is fine. Once I had changed the spring, my knock sensors wasn't too jumpy. Why is that? Because you go to slam gears, and sometimes the vibration, the clutch isn't doing this thing like it needs to quickly. It's not releasing fast enough. So it's causing clutch slippage, knock sensors doing this fucking thing, cutting time and killing power. So you won't have no pre-detonation with your engine, right? Blowing the fuck up. Because the knock sensor is designed to hear detonation, and it's gonna resemble a spark. So it's gonna do what it needs to do. Come on, man. I hate these slow ass driving motherfuckers. So you get these cars, they get behind one another. He had all day to pass. Now, as cars coming down, I'm gonna get this son of a bitch. I'm gonna get him. I gotta get him, because I can't stand shit like this. You driving slow and it's no shoulders. It's no shoulders. And I mean, the speed limit 55, we're doing 40. Cars coming up on you. And they know they be driving slow, and they won't get out the fucking way. But once again, it's no shoulders. They won't speed the fuck up. They be like 4 miles from home, and they say, I'm gonna drive slow, hold everybody up, and then finally make a turn. But then you got the slow ass Corolla behind the car playing grab ass, won't go around pass, and we understand. We fucking get it. We fucking understand why. But I'm not that type of guy. I hate being slow. I'm slow. I can't stand it. You can hear that tire blow off valve. And that's what I want to talk about. We got to 100 quick. That's what I want to talk about. Back to knock sensors. As you guys see, I was baby in the clutch. Traction control on knock sensors is going to be very, 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 very jumpy. Right? You turn traction off, they don't be so aggressive with calling with doing the timing, because they all run the stability control. And then you turn stability control, you'll find out real quick that knock sensors really won't come into play until the car is basically doing a donut. Then they'll kind of do its fucking thing. A lot of people try to roll gears too fast. It causes a lot of vibration to the engine. That causes knock sensors to do their thing. Therefore, a lot of people lose races. This car, I mean, it's night and day. It is night and day since I changed that spring. So, more of the story is, if you added something to the goddamn car, right? Sometimes it's good to go back and leave things, certain things, in stock form. Because sometimes when you add parts that you think is okay and cool, because the clutch feels lighter, that could be causing a lot of problems. It could be causing a lot of your lockout problems as well. The reason why the engineers that Ford designed that spring to be heavy is not so much to wear your leg out. It's because it's designed at that rate with that particular purge to close that cylinder up. Now, you can try, I know S&R has a purge kit that's 5 more pounds, adds like 35 pounds, something like that. You can try that and see if that is closing up. But for me, I never really have a problem with the stock spring. It don't really hurt that much. And it's doing its job. Like I say, all the gears are catching, going. And yes, I can roll a little bit faster than that. But honestly, I find that when I just have a little pace still trying to jerk gears, once this car grabs the gear and it goes, I mean, it makes up that lost time very fucking quickly. And so it's just a little tidbit, a little bit of a tidbit. So try that. But the next video on this car will be either at a car show or at a dyno. Now, I plan on trying to take it to a dyno next month. It won't be this month, next month. I plan on going to a dyno, if not by May for sure, because I'm anxious to see how much power it's going to put down. I also have some octane booster in the trunk. John wanted me to try that to make sure that John Nardi, not Lon Senior or Junior, wanted me to see if it was actually false knock because of the octane issue. And the octane booster, of course, verified that, the knock sensors are working fine. There really wasn't no false knock. But if I still have a problem with that, a lot of times up top, and it's only really second to third sometimes, and third to fourth. That's when I really notice it. And all I really gotta do if the knock sensors pull timing, come off the gas, get back on real quick, and then it'll hook and do its fucking thing. But if that continues to be a problem, because that's known for centrifugals, the way the blower works, then I ultimately will have them detune the knock sensors just a little bit, so I ain't got to worry about the knock sensors getting in all the time and pulling timing. I think they might pull it no more than 20%. I wouldn't even want to go much. I think 10% would be enough, because I don't want my car to blow up. Like I say, pre-detonation, especially if you got a octane issue, the octane's not that good, and you're running lean up top. It's not because of the fuel pump, it's the octane. Then the knock sensor is sole purpose is to stop the car from having a pre-detonation, and the mixture isn't right, and then out goes one of your fucking cylinder heads. You don't blow a rod or something. So that's what I plan on doing. But I hope you guys enjoyed and all that. And until the next video, I am out, everyone.